Alcaraz vs Sinner live updates. Latest score and news from today's ATP Tour Finals showpiece. Follow live from the ATP Tour Finals where the two superstars of men's tennis meet again. Alcaraz vs Sinner. ATP Tour Finals latest. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner lock horns again today in the final of the 2025 ATP Tour Finals. It is the latest chapter in a rivalry dominating men's tennis after meetings in each of the last three Grand Slam finals. Alcaraz won at the French and US Opens, while Sinner was the victor at Wimbledon. Regardless of today's result, the Spaniard will end 2025 as world number one. Time: 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. GMT. Watch Tennis Channel US, Sky Sports UK, streaming, Fubo, stream free now. Share your views. Live at The Athletic. Coom prepared for an intriguing tactical battle. Alcaraz and Sinner have split their past two meetings on hard courts, both of them indoor kind of. Sinner beat Alcaraz in straight sets at the Six Kings Slam exhibition event in Saudi Arabia, which was an indoor tournament, and Alcaraz beat Sinner in four in the US Open final, which was played under the Arthur Ashe Stadium roof. A roofed outdoor court and an indoor court are different. The former still has some atmospheric variance going on, if nowhere near as much as a true outdoor match with the roof open, but Alcaraz's route to victory at the Inalpi Arena in Turin is likely to have much in common with how he played in New York. That Sunday, Alcaraz skidded the ball low with his backhand slice. He arced it high and heavy with his forehand one moment. He crushed it with the same shot the next. This is the playbook against Sinner, and Alcaraz wrote it. By varying his shots, Alcaraz disrupts Sinner's rhythm and makes him change his strike zone from ball to ball, stopping him from detonating the ground strokes which, especially on an indoor court, so often prove too explosive for anyone, including Alcaraz. The Spaniard dropped the second set of the US Open final largely because the tactical clarity that saw him blast through the other three faded. Other players have taken notes. Grigor Dimitrov used slice and all-out aggression to make Sinner uncomfortable at Wimbledon and was a torn pectoral muscle away from making the Italian win 3 sets in a row for his tournament life. Alex de Minaur, one of the flattest hitters in the top 20, hit even flatter than usual in his semi-final against Sinner here, and the Australian also used his slice in the same way Alcaraz does, to make Sinner lift the ball up and dedicate some of that power to just getting it to rise above the net, rather than rocketing through the court. Even if Alcaraz can do this, there's another key factor: the Sinner serve. Indoor conditions make serving more precisely easier, and for all the tactical thrills of this rivalry, each player is so good at making the other uncomfortable that their matches increasingly come down to the basics of who is serving better. At the French Open and US Open, it was Alcaraz. At Wimbledon, it was Sinner. The other shot to watch is the Italian's backhand down the line, and its variation, the off-backhand, where he hits it diagonally to his left from the middle of the court. He uses it effectively to catch Alcaraz out when the Spaniard is hunting for an inside-out forehand. Amid the inevitable highlight reel, points and fingers to the ears, there's plenty of strategy to look for in this most thrilling of matchups. Alcaraz on facing Sinner in Italy. Carlos Alcaraz had this to say about facing Jannik Sinner in his native Italy after defeating Felix Auger-Aliassime in the semi-finals yesterday. Speech balloon: it's great facing Jannik again. I know I have to play my best to beat him, so I think we'll both raise our level. It'll be almost like a Davis Cup tie. Everyone will be supporting him, but I'm going to be prepared for that. At least I have my friends and family. Hopefully I'll hear them more than the crowd. How Alcaraz reached the final. Group play. Def Alex de Minaur 7-6, 5, 6-2 Def. Taylor Fritz 6-7, 2, 7-5, 6-3 Def. Lorenzo Musetti 6-4, 6-1. Semi-final. Def Felix Auger-Aliassime 6-2, 6-4 Alcaraz. 2025 record. Record 67-8. Prize money $16,099, 427. Titles 8. Grand Slams. French Open US Open ATP 1000. Monte Carlo Masters, Italian Open, Cincinnati Open ATP 500. Rotterdam Open, Queen's Club Championships, Japan Open. Greetings from a damp and misty Turin, where the gray skies contrast with the orange wigs and caps being sported by the many fans of Jannik Sinner at the Alcaraz Arena. Carlos Alcaraz joked yesterday that he hoped to have at least 3 or 4 people cheering for him, as he looked forward to what will undoubtedly be an extremely partisan atmosphere. Playing against the crowd will be an unusual experience for Alcaraz, whose pretty much universal popularity means he almost always has the majority of the room on his side. This, though, is very much an away tie for Alcaraz, and in more ways than one. He may be the world number 1, but indoors is very much Sinner's arena. The Italian has won his last 30 matches indoors and is on a 9-match winning streak at the ATP Tour Finals, stretching back to last year's event, which he won at a canter. In those 9 matches, Sinner has not even dropped a set, and he is yet to be broken at this year's event. You have to go back to November 2023 for the last time Sinner lost a match indoors. Alcaraz does have the head-to-head on his side, though, having won 10 of the pair's 15 matches, including 4 out of 5 this year. They haven't met indoors, though, since their first ever tour-level meeting at the Paris Masters in 2021, which Alcaraz won in 2 tight sets. I asked Alcaraz yesterday who he would make the favorite for this match, himself, as the world number 1 or undoubtedly the world's best indoor player. He laughed and concluded that despite his consistency to become the year-end number 1, his opponent's form indoors meant that, I don't want to believe it, but I would say he's the favorite for tomorrow, I guess. A win in Italy on Sinner's best surface and Alcaraz's worst would be a major success for the Spaniard, but he'll have it all to do against his great rival in this kind of form. We're underway in about 2.5 hours. Jannik Sinner had this to say after defeating Alex de Minaur in front of an adoring Italian crowd in yesterday's semi-final. Speech balloon, I'm very happy. The last event of the year, it's great to finish this way. Making 3 consecutive finals in Turin means a lot to me. Tomorrow I will enjoy, but in any case, it's been an amazing week. It's the last match of the season for me, so let's see what happens. Sinner opted out of playing for Italy in the Davis Cup Finals in Bologna next week.